Hey y'all, welcome back to another sit down review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 2. I'm Charmaine. Welcome back to my channel. I'm AKA She Always Got Something to Say, Honey and Two, and let's talk about it. Okay, so back to Real Housewives of Atlanta season, keep saying season 2, episode 2. It opens up with a continuation of the conversation that the girls were having at Shamia's castle, honey, because that ain't nobody's house. That's a castle. Okay, so they were still talking about Drew and Dennis, and Porsha decides she wants to turn up on Drew, basically calling her low and dirty, saying that she was going behind her back trying to film with Dennis. She got word of it. She asked permission from the producer because she dropped the tea, and we all sitting there like it's going to be some big bombshell tea to be dropped and spill, honey. And Porsha was like, you was going behind my back, you contacted the producers behind my back so you could film with my baby father, and I don't appreciate that, XYZ. So Porsha decided, like I said, she wanted to turn up and have the audacity to call Drew or anybody low and dirty. Okay, I was like, Porsha, she is giving really delusional. Like, she can't be serious, y'all. She just cannot be serious. But anyway, so they got all that out. Shamia was like, all right, let's wrap this up, you know, and then they moved on to something else. So, and y'all got my notes here, so I won't get off track or get too deep into on one scene or whatever, because we just want to move this right along. But Drew was insisting that she did tell Porsha about it. She said, I text you and I called you, and Portia's like, no you didn't. So whatever, that was that. Then we go to Angela and Charles's home. They got a nice little home, even though we were just in the kitchen with them, but they have a nice home as well. It's Charles, Angela, and Angela's oldest daughter, Amari is her name. She's 24 years old. So Angela introduced us to her daughter, her eldest daughter, and she's also said that her and Charles have 4 kids, 4 beautiful children. She said, but she named 3 of them. Well, no, she named all 4 of them. She said, you know, Amari, and then she said she has an 11-year-old son. She also has a 7-year-old daughter that she said they share together. And then they have Charles's son, CJ, Charles Jr. He was not there. They didn't show him any of the pictures or whatever, but she included him as one of her kids. But I believe that's just his kid. Out of their bunch or whatever. And so basically, I guess they just have the one daughter together, if that's what I got out of it. Because the way she introduced the kid, she said, I have 24-year, I have, and then we share the 7-year-old together. So whatever. But anyway, she was basically filling her daughter Amari in on what all happened at Shamia's house, talking about how, you know, Drew was trying to do business with Portia's baby daddy and how she felt that wasn't right. And so Charles chimed in, because, you know, Charles, one thing about him, honey, that I'm learning, he don't give a F what come out his mouth and how he say it. Okay, so Charles was basically clocked Angela's tea, like, how you gonna talk, baby? You did the same thing. you got businesses and you did business with your exes. And he was like, I don't be tripping, I'm using my own words, y'all. So it's not word from word verbatim in the scene, but he's like, I don't trip. And she was like, well, and he's like, well, always got some water in it. Yo, it's something about Angela, y'all. Like, I know I said this in the last review, if you watched it, there is still something about Angela that I'm just not getting. Like, I'm just a little confused about. But anyway, again, as the season go on, maybe I'll, you know, get what I'm looking for out of it or whatever. So anyway, I thought that was nice that they we got to know Angela and Charles's, you know, love story a little bit more. She said that back some years ago, they met back in the day or whatever, they exchanged phone numbers, but they didn't have no contact. Basically, he didn't call her until 10 years later, and she said, and that was because they found out that they lived in the same condominiums. So that's when they wound up linking up again, and I guess, you know, pursuing their relationship until now. I don't recall how long they've been married for, but yeah, so that's how they came about, child. And yeah, so that was that with them. And then we move on to Porsha and Kenya having a cute little, you know, lunch date, brunch date together. I liked it. I enjoyed that. Not necessarily the scene because it wasn't too much, but I enjoyed them basically, getting along, seeing them, have a key together and stuff like that. Because y'all know Porsha and Kenya used to be at each other's throats, honey. Okay, back in the day. So it was cool to see them, being, cool, good Judies together, So they kind of, touched on Drew and Dennis's situation. Porsha, basically was just telling Kenya how she felt about it again, and why she didn't feel that it was right. So then Porsha goes on, because Kenya asks questions. She goes on and asks about Simon, and Porsha tells Kenya that she is actually Simon's 5th wife, and that he had another fake marriage before her. So I emphasized on the word another, because nobody is going to convince me that Simon and Porsha's marriage was for real. Absolutely not. So I say another, and she said another. So yeah, Porsha said it herself, he had another fake marriage before her. So he had a 4th wife, and then she became the 5th wife. Okay, his other fake one. So in my opinion, child, because ain't nobody gonna convince me that they wasn't a business deal. Okay, it wasn't a business situation between him and Porsha. Porsha was not in love with that man like she acted like please, and neither was Simon. Okay, so moving on for that scene, like I said, that was a cute little scene to see them together or whatever. Then we go to Kelly. Kelly's at her new location for her Nana's Chicken and Waffles. She also told us how the first location she had, I guess she shared that business with her husband. And when they got a divorce, he shut the shit down. Okay. He basically, she's just another one who's, or went through, I don't recall if she's still going through, but I know she's divorced, and it was tumultuous. How you say tumultuous? Yeah, tumultuous. So, and yeah, so he shut down her other location. So she's excited about this new location because it's all her. Now she ain't got to worry about him. Basically, she thinking she get ready to open soon, and her project manager was like, absolutely not. Like, this got to be done. You still got to get renovations in here. You still got to get permitting. We got a few things before we can just jump off the porch with this opening, right? So she's like, okay, we're gonna get it done. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get it done. So she wasn't really pressed about that. So okay. And then we go to Brittany. We go to Brittany and Mark's home. Okay, Brittany and Mark. Brittany tells us how her and Mark met back in 2020 when she was just launching her new insurance agency and things like that. So she gave us a little briefing on how they met and how they went to Vegas, when they, really got together like that, and how she didn't give him none. She told him he wasn't getting none or whatever, and I guess she didn't give him none, and she just was like, okay, he's the one, because he just still showed her a good time according to her. So Mark is another one who seemingly says whatever he wants to say out his mouth. His facial expressions is always going to tell you what he really thinking, and he's just like a more so like a go with the flow guy. But Brittany, on the other hand, she's a little extra. I can't talk because so am I, but they were just talking in their kitchen about how now she wants to become a mom. He has a 15-year-old son. She's saying that he now wants to know what it feels like to be a girl dad. So they're going to go through in vitro to make that happen. So she said, because they definitely want to choose the sex of their child. So they're going to do it that way. And they also talked about how she wants her mother to move in with them so that her mother can help take care of the baby, and that she wants to have the new house before they have the baby, because apparently the house that they living in now, that's not her forever home, and that's not where she wants to bring the baby home to. So I guess, child. So when she told her mother was there, actually, she was upstairs at the time, but then she wound up coming down, joining them in the kitchen, and she was just telling her mother how she's telling Mark that, I think it's best that you sell your home, took us to her mother, and you come live with us, and so you could already be basically on call for the baby, and help her out at XYZ. So her mother, I guess, seemingly like she's with it, Who wouldn't be, child? You ain't gonna have to pay no bills. You ain't gonna have to pay no more, none of your own bills. Like, who wouldn't be, So then her mom goes to the sauna, and her mother asks Mark, like, you coming? He was like, no. And I'm like, girl, why would he want to come sit up in some damn hot ass sauna with you and your daughter, talking his head off to death about this situation? And even Mark was asking Brittany, like, how come everything has to be playing with you, like, in regards to how they have the baby, when the baby, you know, which home the baby's gonna come home to, you know. She was just like, because we need a plan, you know, like she's telling him we need a plan. And that's why I say he's more like the go with the flow dude. Like, he ain't giving too much into that. He's like, look, whatever you want me to do, I'll be there. Listen, you want me to participate in the in vitro process, I'm there. He ain't say this, but this is just his energy. Like, child, whatever, you do you. Just let me know when I gotta show up. That's it. That's what he gives. So I kind of like Mark or whatever. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. Yeah. Okay, so Shamia goes to visit her surrogate, Shadina. I wasn't aware that Shadina actually was Candy and Todd's surrogate for their last baby girl, Blaze. I didn't realize that. I remember Candy having a surrogate, and I do remember that scene because they did a flashback to when Candy and Todd brought Ace to meet Shadina while she was pregnant with Blaze or whatever at Dr. Jackie's office, child. Shamia goes to visit Shadina. They have a nice little sit down or whatever. It's revealed, I don't recall Shamia saying in detail on the first episode why her daughter's pregnancy had to be terminated, like in detail. We knew that the surrogate had an issue. I don't recall her going into detail. So in this time she did. Basically, Shadina had developed breast cancer during the pregnancy. So that's why they had to hurry up and get the baby out of her at I think it was 30 weeks. Don't quote me on that. I think she was 30 weeks pregnant with Shiloh, who was Shamia's last baby girl. I believe she's 3 years old now, and she unfortunately also has complications to this day. She's considered disabled at this time due to the early pregnancy or early delivery, I mean. And so Shamia was just asking Shadina, like, do you think you being pregnant with Shiloh triggered the cancer? And so Shadina was like, no, you know, no. So Shamia was like, oh, thank God, you know, because I was feeling bad. I had that guilt, like maybe it was, if we wouldn't have never asked her to do this. Again, y'all, I'm paraphrasing, but she's just like, maybe if, you know, we didn't have you do this, it wouldn't happen. She said, that's what Shamia was saying, that these are the thoughts that was going through her head. But, and then Shadina was telling Shamia that she felt guilty because she felt like, you know, unfortunately, their daughter is now considered disabled because of what she had going on with her. And I thought about that, and I'm just like, man, that's really tough, because being a mother, you know, it's already tough that you're unable, in Shamia's case, you know, she's unable to carry her own children, and then you have somebody carry the children for you. And unfortunately, this pregnancy, she was not able to unfortunately go full term, and now you have a child that was born disabled because this unfortunate situation happened. And I'm just like, man, that's really, really tough to deal with, because I try to think about it like, if it were my situation, like, how would I feel? Would I feel like mad at Shadina, or, you know, I don't know, but I know it would be really tough for me to accept. I know that, as me personally, it would be really tough for me to accept. And absolutely, it wasn't Shadina's fault in no way, shape, or form. So, you know, she couldn't control that, you know. And I thank God that she's healthy and well now, and she's seemingly, you know, doing okay, cancer free, or whatever the case. But Shamia did tell her that she and her husband are still trying to grow their family, because that's what her husband wants. Her husband wants more children, and she wants to be able to give that to him. So Shamia did also say that she just had an ectopic pregnancy not too long ago, and unfortunately, obviously, with ectopic pregnancies, we all know, you know, they don't last, you know. So Shamia was just saying how she had to go to she drove herself to the hospital because she felt real bad pain, and when she got there, they made her wait, and then all of a sudden her blood just came gushing out of her. You know, Shamia could have lost her life, you know, trying to get her husband, some more babies. I feel like in cases like this, where the last baby situation, unfortunate, and because it's very unfortunate, I'm going to keep saying that, the last pregnancy with her surrogate and her new baby, her youngest daughter, that situation happened, and then you actually got pregnant on your own. And we all know Shamia is of age. You know, we're not old, because I'm in my 40s too. We're not old, but we all know it's a known fact that if you're 35 and better, well into your 40s and even your early 50s, if you're still, you know, trying to get pregnant or are pregnant, there are really, really high risks for a lot of us women, especially black women. There obviously are some cases where women well into their 40s, i.e. Kenya, you know, have had her baby, and you know, she seemingly had a great pregnancy, meaning like she didn't talk about, Kenya never talked about her having any complications. She had a normal pregnancy, and she, like again, Kenya was in her late 40s when she had her daughter. So I know that's not every woman's situation, but again, it is a known fact that when you are of a certain age and better, it can cause trouble to your pregnancy or your child once your child is born. So I'm just saying that to say, Shamia's, again, she's in her 40s, and her still trying to do this just because, again, these are her words, my husband wants more children, and I want to be the one to give that to him. With that happening, with her pregnancy, you know, being ectopic, the surrogate situation, that to me would have been a sign, okay, that enough is enough. We're going to have to be happy with what we got. We're going to have to continue to love on our babies the way we do, and we just going to have 2 girls. That's it. That's all. I think it's very selfish for the other parent, in most cases, the men, the husbands, to feel like because you're the wife, and yes, we are designed to bear these children, that's our duty and our job and our obligation as a wife to produce as many kids as he wants. And that's not the case. Okay, never the case. A lot of women feel that it is the case. They feel the same way. It is my duty. It is my obligation. But again, when it gets to a point where your body is not able to hold these babies anymore, and or you have situations where you have a surrogate, and unfortunately something bad happens, and why would you just want to put yourself through that again, or your child? Because even though Shadina did say, well, you know what, Shamia, I got somebody else in mind for you. I think she would be a great person for you to meet, another surrogate, that is. And you know, I'm assuming Shamia, probably later on in the season, we might see that going on. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on social media since, you know, they filmed the show or whatever, that Shamia is expecting a new baby, or she had a new baby, you know, via surrogacy. So we don't know yet if Shamia's actually went through with that, but Shadina did basically say she has a next woman that she could highly recommend to her, to possibly have another baby. But like I said, I just think like when it gets to the point where you know, problems are starting to like put my life in jeopardy, and or the baby's life, that I feel like that should be enough. And your husband should fucking understand that. I'm sorry I'm cursing y'all, because I don't like selfish people, and especially men who feel like I said it is your duty and your obligation, because you're my wife and you're a woman, that you must bear all the children that I want you to bear. Mind you, we the ones who got to bear these kids. We the ones that our bodies are the ones who got to be have all that stress put on it. We just got to go through a lot to get these babies into this world, okay? Which is a beautiful thing, a beautiful blessing. Being a mother is a beautiful thing. Being a parent, period, is a beautiful thing. But it's a little different for us moms, because again, we're the one who have to bear these children. We carry those babies under our heart for that amount of months, you know. So yeah, I just feel like, you know, Shamia maybe should have a conversation with her husband, you know, and if she didn't already, and say, hey, listen, you know, we might want to just let this thing go and be grateful for the 2 that we have. So yeah, that was that. But I thought that was a really you know, kind of emotional scene between the 2 ladies or whatever. But I wish both of them the best. Moving on to Kelly and Brittany. Brittany pops up at Kelly's house. They sit down over some drinks and have a little key over the conversation again that happened with Drew, Porsha, and the rest of them and stuff. And yeah, Kelly basically talks to Brittany about, you know, her divorce or situation and how it was terrible and blah blah blah. And Brittany goes to complain about her man Mark, you know, how it'll be bright and early in the morning and she trying to sleep and he still be on his phone, on his social media, blasting videos, laughing and stuff like that, while she over there trying to sleep, and how it annoys her. But anyway, that was that. They ain't had too much on at Kelly's house, so we move on. So then it's Angela, Drew, and Shamia. They meet up at the gym. Angela and Drew is at the gym first, and Drew is telling Angela again about Ralph and all that she's currently going through it. Well, at the time, going through with Ralph with this divorce. She's crying and getting emotional because she's like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water, keep my family afloat, you know, me and my kids, making sure we're good. So that's why she's saying, that's why she chose to, you know, go and let Dennis do what he does for her or whatever, as far as her music and stuff like that, and that it ain't nothing more than that. And she was just saying how Ralph is basically taking her money, or he took her money, and also he's asking for alimony. And like I told y'all in the last review, that Ralph lives downstairs. She said he left the bedroom and he moved downstairs in the basement, child, and she can't go down there at all in her own house because he's there, a court ordered. She can't go down in that vicinity of the basement. I got a piece of hair, y'all, on my face, and it's annoying me in my eye. So she can't go downstairs to that part of her house because his ass is there, and they can only communicate via an app that was court appointed. So the judge basically can see their messages that's being exchanged. And she told us on the last episode how Ralph be cursing her out and stuff like that on the app. And I'm just like, you know what? That's crazy. Like, y'all is fully grown adults. Like, okay, y'all getting a divorce. Y'all don't want to be with each other no more for whatever reasons. But I feel like now that y'all come to that conclusion, it should be nothing to separate cordially. Like, it should be nothing. You don't want him no more. There's no feelings involved on his end anymore. As far as for you, why does it have to be so hard? Like, why does it have to be that? Like, the court has to set up an app for y'all to text each other? Like, that's crazy. You can't go downstairs in the basement because he lives there. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's just crazy to me. Some of these divorces be crazy, y'all. Y'all really got us women, period. I ain't gonna say y'all because I'm a woman too, and I'm a married woman as well, but us women really gotta, you know, the ones who are unmarried at this time, y'all really gotta really make sure y'all really know who y'all marrying. I mean, I guess there's no real way to know somebody until you've been with them for a long time. But at the end of the day, y'all, if y'all see the flags in the beginning, like, I don't care how badly you want to be somebody's wife, please, like, please proceed with caution. Because when you get to this situation and y'all start being this petty and then there's kids involved, it's just like, it's just really not worth it in the end. It's really not, you know. Nobody is really gonna win in the end, you know. But anyway, so then Shamia comes in, she joins the conversation, and then they bring it back to Shamia, the conversation with Drew and Dennis at Shamia's house that they were having. Angela brings it back. She basically asks Shamia, like, why did you just come out of nowhere at your house and ask Drew in front of everybody, was she screwing Dennis? Like, why you asking these questions for Porsha? Why are you basically being her mouthpiece? And so Shamia was offended, you know, I mean, but she kept it cute. But she was like, first of all, I asked for me. The rumors is out there, so that's why I asked, because I wanted to know. I'm not trying to talk for Porsha or anything like that. Like, I wanted to know, so I asked, period. So her and Angela proceeds to have words back and forth with each other regarding that or whatever. So, and Drew had the nerve in her confessional to talk about if you look up the definition of lapdog, you will see Shamia's picture. Like, Drew, don't do that. Don't do that, because as soon as one of them girls get on your ass again, you're going to be in there boohoo crying, playing the victim. So don't do that. But anyway, I don't personally think that Shamia is Porsha's lapdog at all. I just feel like she said, she had a legitimate question because that's what was out there. That's what was being said. So I got you here in front of me. I want to get here straight from the horse's mouth. We all girls here, so I can't ask you in front of everybody. Like, why? Everybody heard the same rumors. We already talking about it, so why I can't ask you? But anyway, so they wound up going ahead and doing a little workout, and then they wrapped it up. Shamia was like, peace out, I gotta go. Okay. So that was that. Last but not least, child, we come to Porsha and Dennis. First of all, I thought it was real cute in the beginning that Porsha was having like a mommy-daughter time with her and Pilar, the whole time at some play area that's just for kids. Porsha had Pilar, and whole time Dennis walks in there. So Porsha was super happy to see her baby father, honey. She embraced him so bad. Like, she was so happy, talking about we are in a great place. You know, we as co-parenting, we're doing great. We are in a great place, her and I, Dennis and I feel like Porsha still has a lot of feelings left for Dennis. That's one of the reasons why she's so salty about Dennis working with Drew. And I feel like she's trying to make nothing into something with them. But she did elaborate with Dennis, you know, like that, how she felt kind of violated that y'all two, Drew and Dennis, was going behind her back trying to do scenes together. Word got back to her that y'all was trying to film together, and how, you know, how would that look, for instance, if me and you wasn't getting along, how would that look with you filming with Drew? To a certain extent, I feel Porsha on that, but I still don't think it is that serious. I think even to Porsha, it wasn't that serious. I just feel like she made it that serious because she's a little salty. Like I said, she possibly might feel like Dennis was trying to flirt with Drew. That's just hitting that on. And she still has feelings for Dennis. But Dennis basically told her the same thing. Like, nah, this is a business thing. Like, he's like, Ralph is the homie, first of all. He was like, I would never do that. And second of all, this is all about business. Like, I'm trying to help the girl out. Like, that's it and that's all. So Porsha still talking about, oh, but your loyalty is to me. Girl, what you know about loyalty? Even though you and Fallon wasn't friends, you ain't even know Fallon, but you was in that lady's house smiling and showing all your pearly whites to her and her husband, and then wound up with her husband. Okay, so I get Fallon may not have owed you no loyalty, but I don't feel like you know what loyalty is either, because you could do that to Fallon, you could do it to somebody else that you owe loyalty to, you know. So, but Porsha, like I said, is acting delusional this season, so we gonna let her. Okay. But basically, she got upset. Porsha got upset when Dennis said what he said. He was like, that it is what it is. That's all it is. So, yeah. And Porsha goes in the bathroom. She's pushing out some damn fake ass tears, acting like she's so hurt because she feels like she don't got nobody in her corner. She feels like nobody is loyal to her. So then the scene goes on to where her, Dennis, and Pilar. And that's another thing. I do not feel like them sitting down talking about what they was talking about at that damn children's place was appropriate. Like, you got kids running around trying to play, Porsha trying to get a little bit loud, then you got poor Pilar, you know, seeing both of her parents there, you know, happy to be with them, obviously, and nobody's playing with her. She ain't had no other little friends to play with there. So she came back over there like, I don't have nobody to help me build something. You know, I felt bad for Pilar. Like, why y'all pick this time where y'all have y'all daughter, first of all, in the mix, and then there's a bunch of kids running around playing? Like, it just wasn't the time or the place to have that conversation, if you ask me. But you know that the producers is messy, so whatever. Then they get in the car. Her and Dennis leave, and they get in the same car. Porsha, supposedly the hot mic was on. Porsha's still going off. Pilar's in the back seat. Porsha's still upset, talking about Dennis ain't being loyal, and Dennis ain't really paying Porsha no mind, y'all. He ain't paying her no mind in that car. Like, and again, they were having the conversation in front of Pilar, which I just feel like was inappropriate. Like, Porsha, leave it alone. Wait till it's just you and Dennis. You know, like, that time I thought we was gonna see them being co-parents in that scene. I thought it was Dennis gonna come, you know, when he did come. I thought him showing up, they was gonna be in there, you know, playing with Pilar and, you know, just, you know, being parents in that moment. You know, no, Porsha want to talk about what happened. Like, girl. So anyway, that's how the show closed out, y'all, with Porsha and Dennis going on a merry way, and Porsha still being mad. Okay, so the next episode, though, looks like it's going to be a good one, so I will be tuned into that one, and I will be back on here with what I got to say about that one too, y'all. So stay tuned, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, So Effortlessly Sexy, because I do vlog on this channel as well, as most of you may know. So go check out my vlogs as well. Like the videos, like I say. Go ahead and make your comments down below if you have any regarding the show, and let's talk about it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.